What's up? So I'm here to walk you guys through how to make a backup of your WordPress website. And I think pretty much anytime you're updating, plugins or major changes, you really should make a backup of the entire site, because things can happen. A plugin can mess with the entire your entire setup. Who knows? It can crash it. It can just cause all kinds of problems. You never know what's going to happen. And often there's ways to fix it. Sometimes there's not, but the ways to fix it are often not worth your time. And if you're developing a WordPress website for a client, they're not going to be very happy that you spent like 10 hours and charged them for 10 hours just trying to fix a problem that could have been, solved in a few minutes of just creating a backup and re-uploading the backup. So here we go. We're going to go log in your domain /wp-login.php. That's the typical login page. So we're going to log in here. And the best way to create a backup is through a plugin. And so to do that, we're going to need to install a new plugin. We're going to go to Plugins. And then you're going to click at the top here, Add New, or you could do it directly in the menu bar here, just Plugins and click Add New. And here you're going to search your plugins. So, if you don't have a favorite, you just type in backup. And this should bring up various backup plugins, and it'll tell us what the most, popular ones are. I have this one. It's my favorite. I use it on a lot of websites. There's just, there's a lot of different versions of different types of plugins you can use. This one has been effective for me in the past. So, but let's say we want this one. You're going to click Install Now, and then you're just going to click to activate it right here in the dashboard. So, but I'm going to use Updraft Plus because I have it installed already. So when you install it, it goes down into your settings. So that's the problem with a lot of these plugins, is you kind of have to search for where they are. Something like this goes in settings, but something else might show up, directly in the menu bar, like WooCommerce here. But others you have to go find it. So let's go to our Updraft Plus backup. And here it's pretty simple. You just it pretty much does it for you. You just click Backup Now. And what it'll do is it'll create a backup of files like this. And you can set it to store a certain amount of backups. Typically, when you're in creation mode or something, you'll create some important backups and leave them here. But you typically want to delete them just so it's not, taking up space, and just leave the ones that are important or the one you really need. And you see we have pretty big file sizes being taken up by all these backups. So here you go. We're going to create a backup. And do we want to include our database in the backup? I would say typically so, especially if you're working with products or, a blog, users, anything like that, that's going to be stored in your database. So you do want that backed up. And you want to include your files. So this is what typically takes up the space, the media files, things like that. But, if you want to create a full backup, you want to keep that stuff. So we're going to create a backup here. Only allow this backup to be deleted manually. I don't typically do that, but if you're working with a bunch of people, or let's say this is your site and you're hiring, an admin or a developer to mess with it, and you don't want them to ever delete it, then you could click that, and I guess. But I typically don't. I just create a backup and then download it directly to my computer. So it can take some time. It depends. I have pretty fast hosting, so it usually goes fairly quickly. This is a big website with a lot of content, so it can take some time. So go grab a coffee, whatever it is, come back. And you can set it to like send you an email when it's done and things like that. So if you want to migrate or clone, they have different that's a different topic, but, and your settings here. So it defaults, I think, to 2. I set it to 9 or 10 because I want to, I like to keep the backups, the most important ones here, just in case I need them, but I also download them to the website. So you can sync them with, like, let's say you have Google Drive, you can like sync it to do that. But, it's pretty easy just to download it and upload it to Google Drive yourself. Okay, so let's say we have one of our backups here, and if there's ever a problem with your website, you need to revert back, you just click this, restore it, and boom, it restores the website. It walks you through it, and that's it. Every time I make a backup, I download it directly to my computer. So, but you can't just click one, you got to download each thing. So there's their database, you're going to download to your computer. There's your plugins. This will be your theme settings, your uploads. This one typically takes a while if you have a blog or a lot of content, and then your others. Just download them all and store them somewhere and put the date so that just in case you ever can't get back in, you need to just totally wipe everything, new WordPress setup, reinstall everything. That's the way to do it. Or if you're going to migrate, it works for migrating too. But there are other steps, and that's another video that we will do another time. So we have our backup. If you need to restore it, you just click restore. What else do we need to do for backups? Something I like to do, and this is like for really important, you don't always have to do this, but if I have a version of the website that I think is like done, I want to have this just in case somebody screws it up, just as like a total backup. Let's say this backup fails, like, any manner of problems go wrong, like everything goes wrong and you have no other choice. The other way to do a backup is, let's see here, we're going to export. So tools, export. And here you can just select all the content. This doesn't, when you click the button below, WordPress will create an XML file for you to save to your computer. This format, which we call WordPress, blah, 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 will contain your posts and tags and all that stuff. So basically it's a text document. It's not like downloading your, your files and your database and, all that stuff. It's basically just downloading the text files of everything. And it can, relink everything. It's just a good thing to have as a backup. So you can get individual things. I just get it all. And you're just going to click to download the export file. So just so you can see what an XML file is it's basically just a text document. It's not bringing all your images over or anything like that. Your images hopefully are still, on your hosting, and, your databases are all there. And this kind of just relinks it to the WordPress site. So that's pretty much how you create a backup. Again, create a backup anytime you're going to do major changes, anytime you're hiring somebody new that has the potential to crash something. Pretty much anytime there's major changes is the main thing.